Hello, this is part 4, episode 7 of the PAL level 19 compendium overall practice. So, this is everything before the practical games. What isn't stacking, what is controlling the game, spin stack, etc. This is going to be short because there's only a few very overall things to say right now. The rest will come up during the actual games, but there is only one very important aspect of lost DAS. What to do if the DAS is lost? Let's say, for example, playing a game like this. Okay, we're playing. I want to get a good example. Okay, and now we want to put this number here. It should go here, by the way, but let's say we want to put it here and we feel we have no DAS. But we managed to spin, so the worst possible thing to do in such case and overall in case of losing DAS is to try to go with the number to the left. The best option would be to put it just there somewhere in the middle when it stops. So for example, if it was here you put it but you have no DAS and you feel it here, maybe just do one click the right arrow one time to put it here and everything's still alright. If it lands here, it's going to be a tragedy for the board and very unpleasant setup in almost all possible ways. And that's case of losing DAS. It's just that simple to put it somewhere in the middle. For example, like now we want to put it here, but we have totally no DAS. So just put it here, everything will be alright. If it's playing 4 lines, usually putting a piece in the middle in a controlled way shouldn't cause any greater problems. Another the problem becomes way more serious if it's playing for Tetris and your Tetris ready, then any technical mistakes very often create huge problems. Also lose the game. For example, I try to show something like this. This will take a moment. Oh, I cannot go here. That's why it's also very important to do Tetrises. Try to do Tetrises with setups that aren't technically very hard. For example, what I said in the previous part, these O's to the left are technically very hard to get constantly to the left that high, and they if they are missed, they absolutely immediately lose the game. Let's try to build for Tetris and to show what can happen. Okay, and so for example now, and there's a misshift or something that ended, let's see, that's game over. This, if you're not sure being touch is ready, it will success. uh, Again, put it anywhere you sure you won't close the well, because closing well in not controlled way on pile level 19 is very often means game over, or at least huge players it needs. Practically it almost always requires very lucky RNG to get out of after such misplacement. After this there's, I think I've never survived uh, this misdrop or this kind of misdrop. As well as it's, for example, if the this is the misplacement, it's also, it happens at least to me pretty often. Also, you can't panic, just do what you want to do. Maybe there will be this long bar spam, this great RNG spam, to give yourself any chance to survive. I know it's totally completely bad, but there's a little theoretical chance you will survive something like this. No, it's 7 high, so there's no chance right now. Uh, about this lost dust, it's I think everything just somewhere in the middle, in a way that allows to have the dust back right after this misplacement, and then the controlled putting the piece in a place that doesn't suit the board, uh, but doesn't break it totally, or breaks it less than the misplacement. There's also the second part is about maintaining the left. So in this case, for example, we have a setup like this. We can, there's a kind of strategy to avoid it by playing it in a way as if it would be impossible to, as if it was impossible to get anything over this too high on the second column, and now burning it with an L and then slowly. But I don't share this idea. I don't like it because it can create a lot of problems. In my opinion, it's way better to just try to do it. If you fail, and you will fail about 10,000 times, finally you will start to do it consistently and successfully. Just try to play as if the technique was perfect all the time, but if you know you don't have that, uh, play it as if the technique was your technique was perfect, but if you don't have that, just somewhere. For example, now I want to put it here, but lost that here or here. When you were somewhere in the middle, there's still a lot of space. Even if now it's a long bar and it will be put here, there's still a lot of space to survive. It isn't like NTSC 19, when this long bar in this case would be somewhere here and takes the whole space, the side space. Now, after this, everything is accessible to still keep playing. Uh, okay, I think it's everything about this. Now, spins. Spins. Oh, well, no, it isn't everything. Um, if you don't know, if you're not sure you have DAS and you have any other option in this case, just uh, take it. This play as if our technique was perfect is about the mental attitude, not the actual uh, gameplay. So for example, if you don't know if DAS and you put it somewhere here, you don't know just here, there's still a lot of space on the left to work with. If you lost DAS because of this, just put it here, then you have DAS here, and everything is, oh, it was a mistake, I wanted to put it here, everything is back accessible. Okay, so now uh, I think it's everything for now in this case. In case of this left side maintaining and misdrops now spins. Uh, Basically, it would be good to avoid spins on level 19, but it takes a lot of possibilities, so I prefer to not to especially train them, but if there's a chance for a spin and missing it doesn't break anything more than it's already broken, then I think it's a good idea to try to do it. Let's try to set up some spin. How to set up spin? Oh, now we have set up spin. So for example, now it would be probably very good to burn it in this way or by an O. But if there's an S, let's say this S was right after I set up. I said right after I set it up. Where is the? Now I don't use these rules. Where is the S? Okay, so if you miss the spin, it would just stop here. So it isn't. It's practically the same like a moment before, maybe even a little bit better than after, for example, an O here, because this isn't flat. So when the S is can go higher here on the left. But if the spin is succeed, then just it's lying lower, and uh, there's also this point field, so it's going to it isn't any risk. You practically cannot lose everything in such case. But for example, I will have huge problems to set it up right now, I think. Let's try to make it. What do I need? Okay, for example, something like this. And now you see, of course, this isn't broken that much on the left and the right. It's, let's say, the rest is clean. And now you see, oh, I have a chance to make this line spin here. If such ideas, if this missing this spin would break the board more than it's already broken, if you have such I think if you have such long bar spin opportunity on 5 and 19, the board must be broken. But if it, so let's say it must be broken, if it would break the board even more than it's already broken, then try to find any any better placement. If you're forced to do it, just do it, because why not, if there's no other option. But in this case it would be very good, and overall in case of spins, to take care of both options, missing spin and um, getting the spin. Now if, for example, if this would be without these lines, just this space, and now is the long bar, there's nothing starting from here, I think mm, uh, I I think it's maybe worth trying, because this line for sure won't be burned in any different way, or almost for sure. Yes, for sure, I think there's no way, or almost no way, to burn it, so why not to try it? If that this half being looking like this or looking like this doesn't change anything that much. So in this case I think it's worth trying it, but it's uh, for sure any spins like this to show off, or to just because they look great, if there's if the board doesn't need it, if there's no uh, reason to make it, no solid reason, then probably it's better uh, not to make the spin, not to try to break everything. I mean, not to risk breaking the board even more. But it's also more, there won't be a lot of spins in these games, but mm, it's very, you just must feel it when it's good or when it's bad, to try to make a spin. Okay, now quick taps. I promised something about quick taps in this part. So now very, very important thing, probably the most important thing, uh, the most prospective thing about the PAL level 19 and overall quick taps. It's very important to learn as fast as possible. Start right now if you don't do so, to make rotations as fast as possible, uh, um, to literally the best, I mean preferably literally when the piece appears on the board. It's very important, because for a quick tap, this would need a frame perfect quick tap on the left. So if the spin isn't made, there will be no time to get this piece. Will be not. I don't know if it's no time. If it's exactly no time, maybe it's possible. I don't know this very specified game mechanisms, things, this how the game works stuff, but it's very important to make the spins as fast as possible, because now you have very low time to focus on getting the piece left to play it ideally when it when it is here, when it reaches the second column. And if you also have to make this spin somewhere, if it isn't learned, if it isn't immediately, it's going to be even harder to maintain the two parts of the quick tap. It's very important learn learn all the time, or just learn and to do it, to uh, make these rotations very fast right now. So for example, if I want to put it here, not here and then, but if I want to put this here, then this should look something like this. It should be spent somewhere here, I think. Okay, uh, about this quick taps without very specified quick taps tricks, because maybe it will be after the detailed practice, like in maybe I will say something more about it in the future, but I think I've forgotten about something. This spins are done. What I wanted to say? Oh, Tetrises are made. Stacking is made. Oh, I wanted to say also about keeping the board as simple as possible, not complex, not to get lost in what you think, but it isn't the thing I've forgotten about. So, for example, anything like complex setups like this, and now where to put it, maybe here, it's very important to try to keep the words as simple as possible uh, all the time, because in something like this it's very easy to these two things, the stacking and technique, if uh, if they start to uh, interfere, then it's going to have very usually it's going to have a very bad outcome on the board and overall on the whole gameplay. Yes, I wanted to say something about pole vaults. Okay, so let's went why it's very nice to train them immediately. I pole vault. Let's say we have something like this. Now the pole vault. Yeah, I think I don't have to explain what is the pole vault. It's this situation when you, to avoid the, I don't know if it's exactly in this case, but it's overall, you will feel it while playing, or you will learn how to feel it. It doesn't matter in this case how high you can get. It's very nice to make them even to learn them even if they aren't compulsory needed, because if the dust was missed a little bit or something bad happened, they can save something. Miss-drop like this ends the game. So forward is a situation, not here. Okay, now it's 9. It's a situation when to avoid staying here, you rotate the piece in this way. In this case, to spin it one more time after missing this tower in the middle of the board. It works everywhere, and I think it's also very important to train it, to start to train it immediately when starting playing level 19. I mean, not maybe especially train it, but not to avoid it and not to be scared to do it, because in any survival like this, it may turn out, for example, something like this. This power vault is the only chance to survive any situation like this, of course with pure dust, but even with not a pure dust, with quick taps, it's just very, very helpful in everything. Okay, I think it's everything about the overall practice. The rest will come up in the detailed practice part, which is the next part. It will be divided into 4 parts, the same like theory. So firstly clearing, then playing for lines, then playing for Tetrises, and then playing casual games. And then we will see what to do next. For sure, I've forgotten about something so far, but everything, there's such big amount of these games to analyze. I mean, it isn't big, but it's, I think, enough to show everything what is forgotten for now, and these things that will come up during the actual games analysis, what was done in such a way, and a lot of this lost dust, and putting this pieces somewhere in the middle because of lost dust. I've forgotten about very important thing. This is also the one for now. Yes, there's one more thing. There's I've forgotten. I've forgotten again. It's unbelievable. What I wanted to say. I meant I was saying about this, what to do if no dust, how this recovering from no dust. Oh, now I remember again. It's very important. I must say it immediately. It's very important to try to keep dust literally all the time, even if it's also very nice, even if it's only one piece movements does all the time, no single taps, uh, two taps to avoid keeping dust. This keeping dust all the time gives a lot of balance, a lot of makes the board just makes the gameplay just more mm, consistent, more mm, just like a kind of mentally cleaner, or I don't know how to name it, but it's it it gives a lot of um, a lot of mm, how to say how to name it, a kind of order of the game makes uh, makes the board more organized. And if the game is the tech makes the technique more organized, and if the technique is organized, there's a little bit more time to focus on stacking, and everything then overlaps, so it gives a lot of, just makes the game better overall. Okay, now I think it's everything. So in the next episode, clearing, then next few episodes clearing, then in the next few or more than few playing through lines, of course both this in practice, then a few about playing for Tetrises, then a few about playing casual games, and then we'll see what to do next. So I know for sure I've forgotten a lot, but most, if not everything, will come up during this games analysis. Okay, I think it's everything, so for now, so thanks, bye.